The name says it all. Cair Heating and Cooling. They do care about your comfort. Kevin Clapp is here, and he's got some recommendations for us because we better get ready. You know it's coming. Kevin Harned will tell you 95, 100-degree days, they're not out of the question. In fact, you can count on them. Kevin, you join us once again. I appreciate you coming on here. First of all, for those who are not aware, maybe they didn't see you on your last appearance, tell us a little bit about your company. You're a truly full-service HVAC, right?
Yes, sir. We have over 60 employees that work for us that are from the Kentuckiana area. We do HVAC on all your brands, including geothermal, all electric systems, propane, gas, trailer parks, homes, commercial properties. Whatever it is that you need, we're here for you.
Yep. It's all about quality of service. It's all about affordability. It's all about really getting the advice that you need because, believe me, if your system does not need to be replaced, they won't do it. They can fix it. They can take care of you. Let's talk a little bit today. The topic of the day, Kevin, I know you're prepared. Let's talk a little bit about the importance of air filters. I think sometimes we all tend to forget about air filters and their importance and what they do. So your opinion, how important are air filters and why should we take a look now?
Well, air filters are extremely important when it comes down to your HVAC needs, especially on your air conditioning side. You should be checking your filter on a regular basis. If you have a standard 1-inch filter, you should be checking it every 30 days and making sure that it gets replaced if it needs to. If it's not white, if it's getting to be a gray or a dark color, you really need to change that out because you'd be surprised at how many calls we get on a daily basis where we have to go out, take a look at a system just to find that the problem is that the filter is dirty, and by having a dirty filter, it's not getting the air across the coil to allow it to cool your house, and it's costing you a lot of money for something that you could get at Home Depot, Lowe's, Kroger's, anywhere for a couple of dollars.
Wow. So you said check it every 30 days. Note to self, okay? I've got to check mine when I get home. All right, let's talk a little bit about why the right filter is important because I think a lot of us, and I can understand this, everyone has a budget. You tend to go and you say, okay, let me get the least expensive possible. Why is that a bad decision, Kevin?
Well, the better the air filter, the better the air quality, especially as being in Louisville that has such a high pollen and airborne particles for us to breathe in. Is your air filters are important in the way of having a media air cleaner, electronic air cleaner, as opposed to a 1-inch filter. A lot of times we'll go get just a $2 filter and put it on, but all that's really going to catch is your dust bunnies. But then the other mistake that we do is go out and go to Home Depot or wherever and get a high MERV rating on a 1-inch filter, which makes it so the pores are so close together that it makes the system work harder to try to pull air through the filter to cool your house on a regular basis. So having a high MERV rating on a 1-inch is not necessarily the same as having a media or air cleaner, which is a wider cell and better for you and your family.
Yeah, so it's got to be the right filter, obviously. Huh? Okay, another question I have. I've had this happen to me, and I think a number of us who are watching probably have had it happen to them as well. When your AC unit freezes up, okay, first of all, what causes that and what are the repercussions of that, Kevin?
The number one reason that an air conditioner will freeze up is because it's low on charge. And a lot of people will say, well, I'm going to put a couple pounds of refrigerant in there. Unfortunately, if your system's frozen up, it is got a leak in it. That leak is not going to get any better. It's kind of like rust on your car. Once it starts, it's just going to get bigger and bigger. So by putting more refrigerant in every year, which is we hear all the time of every year I have to put 2 or 3 pounds in. Well, you're realistically just putting money into something you're going to have to replace anyways. And especially on an R22 unit, everything's 410A, so it's an absolute waste of your time and money. And every time the unit freezes up, the coil freezes up, and it creates ice on that coil. When that ice melts, it falls down into your coil pan, but a lot of that coil does not have a pan under it, and it falls right into your furnace, which will rust out your furnace and cause corrosion on the bottom of it, which that's air you're breathing in on a regular basis throughout the year.
Ooh, so if our unit does freeze up this summer, and it could happen to you, if it does happen, what's the first thing they should do? Should they call you at Cair? What should they do?
Call us, get on the schedule, turn the unit off. You cannot check a system if it's frozen up. You can tell if it's frozen up because you'll have ice on the line set, either at the indoor unit or the outdoor unit. If you pull the Armaflex back on your line set, that is the insulation on it, you'll see, instead of regular copper coloring, you'll see ice particles. That's the line set frozen up. You cannot get a charge on the unit if there's ice on it, so you need to let it thaw. This takes time. So call us, we'll put you on the schedule, and then that'll give the unit time to thaw out. So when we come out there, we can actually repair the system as opposed to having to make a repeat trip because it's frozen up still.
All right, keep that number up there because I think it's important for folks to know to call now. And here's the reason. If you've been putting off, you've been procrastinating about getting a new unit, now's the time, because from what I understand, Kevin, you can verify this, now's the time because there are still tax incentives that are involved, right?
Yes, sir. There's tax incentives out there up to $500 from the federal government, which is the first in a long time that they're actually giving homeowners benefits to go with a better system on your air conditioner. Make sure that if you do purchase one, that is not only 16 SEER, but it also is a 13 EER, and whatever professional puts it in gets you an AHRI certificate, which is a certificate that the government is needing for you to get your rebates, your credits, because it is tested by them, and it's given a 7 or 8 digit code that you're going to need. A lot of people are getting 16 SEER units that are not 13 EER, and therefore they're paying for something they're really not getting, and they're not eligible for that tax credit.
Boy, you know your stuff, Kevin. I appreciate it. Really good information. And again, you know, things are going to get back to normal here very shortly. So now's the time to make the call, because when you get back to work, you may forget. Now is the time before that hot weather hits. Again, call them at Cair Heating and Cooling. They are full service HVAC. Kevin, thank you for the great information. Kevin Clapp will be right back on Wade 3 Listens Live.